been singing for my whole life, from I was about 2, and I've been playing in children's orchestra since I was 8, for about 8 years. Then I studied at Russian Academy of Music for 5 years. I've got a degree, and that's where I learned to play piano. And then 6 years ago I started producing as well, and I've been involved in many different projects throughout my whole life, bands and as a solo act. Well, at the time when I was performing and recording with the band called Muzungu and my own band Jahan Soldiers, we faced quite a few challenges because we, you know, particularly with my band Jahan Soldiers, I was standing up against the developing and growing neo-Nazi movement in Russia. I was speaking about it and against it through my songs. We were going to anti-fascist protests and meetings and demonstrations, and because of that, we were using basically music as a vehicle to speak up. And obviously, me being a mixed race person, growing up in Russia and facing the challenges on a daily basis, you know, sometimes from regular public, and I have ran away from skinheads. There was a time like that as well, and I was speaking about it through my music. And then eventually it got to a point where my bass guitarist for Jahan Soldiers band was beaten up by about 35 skinheads just before our performance at Bob Marley Festival. And although he was Russian, he was beaten up because he was playing for my band and because he was playing reggae. And there were quite a few other things, and then eventually you know, we had to leave and, you know, and stop playing. It got quite dangerous. Well, since I started performing anti-fascist songs in Russia and raising this whole you know, theme within the reggae scene, it became very dangerous, especially after my bass guitarist was beaten up by the skinheads. We started, you know, having a lot of problems, and because of the racism and that I encountered on a daily basis, as well, for just being a mixed race person, you know, I'll hear comments even on the public transport in the street, you know, from people go back home and all that. You know, I'm not saying that everyone was racist. Obviously, I had a lot of friends there as well, and, you know, they were decent people and, you know, musicians, everyone else, you know, there was a lot of cool people, but outside of that, you know, it got to a point where I couldn't just walk down the street. I had to travel by car everywhere, even to the shop, from my house, you know, locally. And obviously, after that incident with my bass guitarist, specifically, we had to cancel all the shows, and I just had to simply get on the plane and move to London. So one of the reasons was that, and obviously, you know, London was the place that I used to travel as a tourist before as well, so I knew, you know, what kind of place it is. Musically, it has opened my eyes to different genres, different cultures in London, and obviously I learned about different styles of music that, you know, particularly started developing since 2006, you know, and spreading, and, you know, I started doing dubstep and jungle and obviously, you know, more of reggae and I started getting into, you know, grime, and as I said, I recorded the first Russian grime artist named Oxymoron in my studio, and we recorded the first Russian grime tracks that, you know, had an impact on the scene over there, and now obviously it introduced Russian audience to the grime and dubstep as well through that.
So what influenced you to become a music producer?
Well, I've been interested in music production since I was about 15, when I got Fruit Loops 2.5, but it wasn't serious at that time. I was still, you know, more in, you know, just being a singer and a songwriter. But when I moved to London in 2006, I did it on my own, and I had to start everything from scratch, including my music career as well, because I came here and nobody knows me, nobody knew me at the time, and I didn't know any musicians, didn't know, you know, any bands or anyone. So I had to just, you know, get my own setup and start making beats for myself. I did a one-year course at Point Blank College, and I worked at Turnkey, which was where I worked as a sales assistant, and that's how I got my music equipment. And from there I got deeper and deeper into it, learned about engineering, and started recording other artists as well. To the future in a secret flight. Maybe when every day repeats the other. I released Emancipation EP in 2009, and that has been influenced by real experiences that I had in my life before that, because as I said earlier, I came to London in 2006, and I'm a refugee here because of those things that happened to me in Russia. And in the beginning, in 2007, 2008, my case was put in the wrong procedure by mistake. I was detained for 2 months when I was pregnant in a detention center for immigrants, and it was a mistake. And then eventually my case got to the High Court. I even wrote to the Queen, I wrote to everyone, and obviously I proved that, you know, I was here for a reason. And after that, you know, going through those experiences, it was quite weird for me, you know, because obviously I was locked up for no particular reason. And when I came out, that day, I remember it was 17th of January 2008, I could smell freedom in the air. And when I came home, I wrote just a little text on my MySpace page about freedom, and that started the song called Nothing Like My Freedom from that EP. And then from there I wrote other songs, and that led to my EP, Emancipation EP, which was my physical emancipation, me getting my asylum case sorted, and just me finding myself again and learning about myself after that experience. I've been traveling around the UK to quite a few different cities, Birmingham, Coventry, I've done Manchester Carnival, Leicester Carnival, I've done London Peace Concert, I've done different shows like in the clubs, aquarium, you know, I've done some jungle raves as well, underground, you know, tango raves. I'm working on my album, which is going to be influenced, you know, with the sound of dubstep, drum and bass, jungle, garage, basically everything that's got bass in it, and obviously with my vocals. I'm the producer, engineer, writer, everything on this album. I might work with a couple of other producers as well, just to give it a little twist. And I'm also working on different tracks, like particularly there's a couple of tracks that are coming out with Pinology, who I met in Coventry. There will be a few surprises as well with some of the artists that you already know, but I'm not going to give it away yet, just yet. I'm just working on different beats as well, so because sometimes I just randomly make beats like hip hop, grime, reggae, dubstep, and a lot of the times I just go with the flow. I make a beat and then I just call someone and say, like an artist, yo, you want to do this? And they just come down to my studio. But at the moment I am actually focusing mostly on me as an artist and just doing different projects with other people. But for about 3 years before that, I was focusing on engineering and production for others in my studio.
So how did you get on Spitfire?
Well, we're all part of the same scene. You know, obviously I have been working with hip hop and grime artists myself as well in the studio, and then I'm following, you know, different artists, and obviously then it got to a point where KicoTV just hollered at me and I decided to, you know, do this track, running and perform there. So, but you'll see this running track as well on my album. So yeah, and apart from that, you know, working with quite a few, you know, hip hop and grime artists, and started this, you know, recording the first grime tunes in Russian language for the Russian market as well. You know, it gave me this experience as well in, you know, recognizing the scene. I work every day, and obviously I never stop doing music. I've got my studio in my house, so that helps. But at the same time, I'm just like everyone else. I don't have babysitters, I don't have much help. You know, I'm here in this country by myself, and I'm not gonna say that it is easy. And I had to learn to do a lot of things just on the go, like, because when I just gave birth to my daughter, from there I went back into the studio just literally a few days straight after giving birth, and I had to make beats while I'm breastfeeding, you know, and you know, just put my daughter in the cot, cook something quickly, and go back into recording a bit of vocal while she's sleeping. Then she'll wake up, and you know, just had to learn all of this routine. Obviously I didn't get no sleep, you know, and I just had to keep on going. I think it's just a matter of learning to, you know, maybe sometimes you can't structure things as much as before, because you might want to get some sleep during the night, and then, you know, your child wakes you up, and you still have to keep on going anyway. You know, a lot of the times I have to take her with me. She goes with me to, she's been with me to my shows, to radio shows from she was a few months old. I done the music video 2 months after I gave birth, and she was there. And there was actually one particular radio show when I took her with me, and she was 8 months old, and I was standing up and holding her in one hand and talking into the microphone and feeding her with another hand, you know. So it was quite awkward, but at the same time you have to do what you have to do, and being a mother is a great thing. I have a particular focus in my life, and every day I wake up and I actually know why I'm doing this. I'm doing this not only for myself, I'm doing it for her, to set up a great future, you know, to be you know, a role model for her, and be successful so that I can tell her to be successful. And I think my life has changed tremendously. There's life before you have your first child, and there's life afterwards. So you know, also obviously you're more serious about certain things. You're not just gonna go out at night, you know, and spend you know, some amount of money, because you know you have to buy clothes, you have to buy food for your child, you know, you have to pay school fees, and you know, different things like that. So but at the same time, I think I'm faster than ever right now in life. And this is my advice to all the mums out there, especially single mums, because I'm a single mother myself, just like everyone else, is that just stay strong and keep going, keep going. Just as far as I can get to, I am just working on mastering every skill that I have, whether it's production, singing, dancing, acting, and incorporating all of that together as my act, Jahna Sebastian. And I'm planning to do more shows, work on more music, and I experiment with the sound, because that is the gift of being a producer. I can tweak the knobs, you know, and I can just work in the studio all day long, and all of that helps me, you know, to put a unique sound together that I'm working on. And at the same time, I'm trying to bring out everything that I can do as much as possible, you know, all of those skills, put them together, and bringing a team, you know, of different people together to work on the best, you know, project that I can give to you. So yeah, you know, planning on to travel the world, doing all of those things. Well, shout out to my mom, to all my friends and all my fans that have been supporting me through all these years, and just to everyone who is watching this right now, KicoTV, and everyone who has been supporting, and also my agent Paul Thompson. He's amazing. We've been traveling around the UK together. Special shout out to him as well. And yeah, thank you.